Okay. Good morning, everyone. For some of you, I think it's good afternoon. Please let me know if you can hear me well, please. Great. And you can see the presentation as well? Great. Okay. So, first of all, my apologies for being late today. I think there was a misunderstanding about the time difference for me. But okay, thank you very much for attending this webinar, and thank you very much for being here today. So I hope that that you can learn something new today, and about what I want share with you about networking. So why networking? Because from my experience, I can tell you that sometimes the people, the students, the professionals have a misunderstanding about what is networking. They think that probably networking is not very effective, or it's not that something actually works, or maybe they are feel uncomfortable doing things that about networking, right? So for a lot of people, is like no very attractive or very sexy topic. But the truth for our professional career and for our professional development is a very important and a very fundamental aspect. So I want to today share with you some ideas, some insights about this concept, networking, a new paradigm about networking. So, so far you can hear okay? Okay, great. So, okay, just a little about me. My name is Jenny Castillo. I am from Colombia. I have been working in the human resources field for more than 8 years, especially in hiring and selection process in companies in my country, Colombia, and in other international organizations. I am living now in Washington, D.C., United States. So I have been working with the Inter-American Development Bank. It's an international organization for development, of course. So I have been working here for more than 4 years, almost 5, in hiring and selection. And I can tell you that I can see at the importance of networking at several levels in my work every day. So, okay, just a quick question for everyone. Um, let's think how did you get your current job or your last job? Just one word that you can tell me through a friend, online, Facebook, a former supervisor, colleague. Just let's think about it and tell me about it. For example, in my case, my current job was through a former colleague from a university. Great, online search. Thank you, Maria. What else? Okay, all right. Okay, great. Okay, so let's talk a little about the job market rules. How the job market has changed. So I just want to show you this slide about what is the position of the companies, of the employers. I think this is the elephant. And what is the position about the candidates? I mean, about us, right? Because for me, from from my experience, I can tell you that the rules of the game have changed. What that means? That means that the gain of the companies is different from our gain. That means that, for example, the companies, the employers, want to have the least people to evaluate, right? So I can tell you from my experience in selection process, you don't want to have like 1,000 people or 100 people to evaluate. You want to have like 4, 5 finalists, and that's it. But as candidate, you want to participate in the most possible selection process, right? So you want to be invited to a lot of interviews in a lot of companies. So for the companies, it's an elimination game. But for us, for candidates, is the opposite, right? So the dynamic is a little different. Another thing, for example, for us, for candidates, our resume is the most powerful tool, right? That we have to show our experience, our skills, our knowledge. So we try to do the best resume in the world, right? Because we can think that the resume can do everything for us. But for companies, actually, the resume, okay, yes, is important, but the interaction face to face, actually the first interaction face to face with prospect candidates is actually most important because they can tell you from that interaction how the candidates will be behave, on how the candidate will reflect on a professional way. So as you can see, the companies are looking for people who they can trust, right? Who they feel comfortable working with. But for us as candidates, we are looking for what? We are looking for show us our skills, our experience, right? So the dynamic of the job market, of the job hunting is different from the company's perspective and for our perspective. So my message here, let me show you. My message here is that we need to start to think like the companies. We have to learn how the companies prefer to look for new employees, and we can adjust our strategies to meet their needs, to adjust to their methodologies, right? So maybe some of you have seen this graphic before, right? So you can see how the ways how companies prefer to fill a vacancy, right? Promotions, hiring a former consultant or hiring a former employee or hiring an intern, right? Uh, Second one, using a best friend or business colleague to get referees, right? That means use a trusted friend. It's about trust here, right? Third, using an agency, employment agency, right? The fourth, the most conventional, using advertising, placed online or in newspaper. So one of you have told me that you had find your jobs in this way. And the fifth, looking over random resumes. So the way how employers looking for new people typically is very different to the ways how candidates looking for a job, right? We usually use this online advertising, right? Online application. We go into the job portals and we send our application, our cover letter, etc. Or we just send resumes to everybody we know, to every company we want to work in. So, okay, the thing is the companies, the employers want hire someone that they already know, right? That they can trust in. So the importance of networking is precisely here, right? Because the employers want someone that they know, right? Maybe not directly, but maybe through a friend or through a colleague, right? So networking is important here because networking is about connect with people and is about share interests. So in this way, the people that we can know will refer us as a trusted friend, right? So the message here is this, that the companies want people who they can trust it. Okay, so in this context, in this scenario, what we can do? We can do a lot of things, of course. We can use very conventional approaches. Actually, we have to combine tools in order to be successful. When we want to change jobs, when we want to change career paths, right? So, of course, we have to use the traditional work agencies. We have to use online job portals. We have to, of course, use the company's web portals, but we can use effective networking, and we can use, of course, social media. So today, I want to emphasize about effective networking, how we can understand networking in a better way and how we can take advantage of that. Okay, so let's start. Effective networking, I want to talk about the goals of effective networking, about advantages, about myths, what is not networking, and how we can take the networking in a very systematic way, right? Right. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Goals of networking. The ultimate goal of networking is that you can get a great job, right? Is that you can get in touch with the decision makers inside the organization. That is the ultimate goal. But before that, I mean, in order to get there, we have to start step by step, right? So what are the goals? What are the objectives of doing networking? So first of all, get the word out. That means let the employers that you are looking for a job, right? That you are interested in change jobs and you are available, and of course you are a strong candidate. Of course, if you already have a job, you have to be a little more careful about that, right? Because you have to manage the expectation and you have to be more careful about who you talk with or not. Okay, so this is the first thing. The second thing is gathering or collect information, relevant information. Why? Because if we have valuable information, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. So the thing is, if you have uh, valuable information about what kind of employers you are interested in, where you want or don't want you to work. If you have information, is a 20 minutes presentation and 10 minutes for questions. Okay. So, okay, the second goal of networking is about collect information, right? It's about collect information about what is going on in your professional field, what are the compensation rates, right, in your profession, in your area of expertise. So that is very important. Actually, for me, is the most interesting change of paradigm about networking, because networking is about exchange information and connect with people based on the information that you can share. So, okay, the third goal is meet insiders, are targeted organizations, right? So you can see in the website of the companies a lot of information, of course, but the information that you can get from insiders is actually more valuable and actually is more solid for your interviews, for your professional knowledge. So this is one of the goals of the networking. Meet insiders, people who are working, who already are working in the organization where you want work. So the other thing is, of course, get in touch with decision makers. Of course, the ultimate goal is that you become a suitable candidate before the job opening happens, right? So the goal here is the people have you in mind for future jobs, for future work opportunities. So if you think about this, the approach is totally different, right? Because maybe some people, for me before many years ago, I talk about networking like, oh, networking is asking for a jobs. It's not. Networking is have thousands and thousands of friends or thousands of Facebook contacts. It's not neither. Oh, networking is doing favors and receiving favors. It's not. Networking is making the people uncomfortable, asking for job opportunities, and selling myself in a desperate way. It's not. Networking is about communicate, of course, but networking is about communicate about your professional goals and about your your targeted companies where you want to work. Okay. Another thing is advantage. Okay, what advantage I can find about networking? So you have more choices because you have more information, so you can make better decisions about your professional options. You can use resources that you already have, so you don't have to create or you don't have to build a new network of 1,000 people. No, you can use the people that you already know, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your former supervisors, etc. So, okay, we will talk about later. You can control networking, right? Because you cannot control an online application. You cannot control um, a cover letter or an online portal, right? But you actually can control networking. It's you plan it and you organizing in a very systematic way, of course. Uh, of course, as I said before, you get in touch with decision makers before the job opening happens. So that is a huge advantage for you. You can enjoy it because you are going to do in an organized way, in a planified way. So you have to be comfortable with. You have to uh, enjoy the process, enjoy the project. And of course, lovely side effects. You probably are going to meet a lot of people, but you can. The most important thing, you can help other people that maybe are in the same process. So, okay. Well, what does mean systematic approach? So systematic means that networking is a process, is a logic process, right? So first you have to decide, right? But you have to decide in order to believe that actually this is going to work. Because sometimes you say, okay, networking, I have to do networking. Yes, of course you have to. But you really have to believe it. You really have to understand how this is going to work. So you have to feel comfortable, and you have to actually really believe it and to do it. So you have to prepare. This is a very important thing because you have to map your network first, right? You have to be very selective. You don't can go to talk to anyone in anywhere in any way. No, you have to be selective about who are you talk to with or who are you not talk with. So you are to be selective about the approach because it's not the same if you're going to talk with some peer, some people that is in your same professional level, your same age. It's not the same if you're going to talk with a general manager, right? Or some more senior people. So you have to prepare your speech depending on the audience that you're going to have. So this is very important. You have to be very in the game when you are when you are talking with people. That is very important. So okay, you are prepared. You have to talk. But what about you are going to talk? You have to prepare your statement, your professional statement, your core message. So what you want to do, what are your professional goals, what are your targeted organizations. So it's not like random message. It's not like, okay, I'm looking for a new job. No, it's I want this kind of job because I have this kind of these skills, and I think the better organization to meet my professional expectation are these because this and this. So you need to have a very solid speech, right, to talk about yourself. This is very important. So as I said before, talking is about exchanging information. So the people expect that you, of course, share information about interesting topics with them. Uh, but the most important thing is that you feel comfortable, because if you feel comfortable doing that, the other people going to feel comfortable as well. So it's about easy conversation, pleasure conversation in a very professional topics, in a very polite way, right? So and of course, if you do all these steps in a very organized way, probably you're going to land in a new job. Of course, you have to combine another skills like interviewing skills, like negotiation skills, of course. But when you arrive here, you will already have uh, good advantages, right? Because the decision makers are ready will know you, sure. You already have information about the compensation, about the salaries, about the structure, about the company. So you have more tools to make your decision and to make, of course, salary negotiations. Um, well, this is not a simple 1, 2, 3 process, of course. This is going to take time, of course, but I think we can see it like this, like interesting projects for our careers, right? So, okay. And the last, I want to talk about some myths. I already say something of those, but what is not network? Definitely. Networking is not about knowing a lot of people. It's not about having thousands of friends. No, you can have a very small network, but you can use it in a very effective way, and it's gonna be okay. So it's not about meeting the president or meeting the CEO of the company or the general manager. No, it's not about meeting superstars. It's about meeting regular people with regular jobs with very similar interests with you, right? And about exchange information and about connect with these people. Power networking. So networking is not about giving favor and receiving favor, right? Is I tell you this, you tell me that, and that is networking. Not necessarily. Of course, sometimes you can do it. I mean, you can help people, and the people can help you as well. But you have to be very honest. You have to be very authentic. It's not about it's not like a credit and debit of favors. So you don't have to be a salesman. Sales is very different from networking. Sales is about create a need when it's when is when is no need. But networking is about connection. It's about personal and people interaction, right? It's not about selling myself like crazy person, like no. Of course, in some way you are selling yourself, but in a more methodic and systematic and strategic way. So networking groups are the only place to work? No, you can do networking everywhere. In your yoga class, in your cooking class, in sport clubs, I mean everywhere. Actually, it's more interesting when you can share interests, common interests with people that you know. So this is a way to know about uh, their companies, to know about their jobs. It's about making love and new friends. Yes, I mean you can make it, but it's not about that. It's about make professional contacts, relevant and meet relevant people and share relevant information. So, just to wrap up, the three important things that I want to tell you today. So you have to be conscious about what is networking, what means networking. Second, you have to be prepared, right? It's not a very improvised thing. You have to be prepared. You have to think about it. You have to do some research. You have to be prepared to feel confident, and of course you have to be very open to know a lot of people, to talk a lot of people in a different ways with a different approach, depending of the relation of the trust, right? But I think for me, this is a new way to think about network and networking, of course. So, okay, that's it that I want to share with you today. Thank you very much for your time. If you have some questions or some comments, please let me know. You're very welcome. Please let me know your feedback. I don't know if you find the webinar interesting. Oh, sure, sure, yes. Actually, uh, they will ask for your resume, but the interesting thing is they already know you before having your resume because um, they will know you through trusted friends. So depends. I mean, the thing that the decision makers going to know about you is the information that your friend or your colleague or your uh, insider person can tell him or can tell her, right? So of course, your resume is important, but the resume at this stage is like the um, uh, final touch because they will already know you. So this is the interesting thing about networking. You probably don't going to need send your resume to 1,000 companies. I don't know if I answered your question. Great. Okay, so I don't know if some of you have another question. Um, okay. Okay, great question. Thank you, Daria. So, okay, I said before, depends of the audience and depends of the purpose of the interaction, right? So, depends. For example, let's see that you want to meet your I don't know, you're a friend of your friend, right? But actually, of course, you know your friend, but you don't know this your friend's friends, right? So, what kind you have to think first? What kind of role this person has in the company, right? What kind of work this person does? And when you already have that information and you have that clear in your mind, you can think, okay, how I can introduce myself. So you already know that this person already knows you through your friend. So you can say, okay, hi, my name is Jenny. I am, I don't know, Adam's friends. I think he already shared with me some information about your company. Um, I am very interested to know about more about this this sector, this industry. So I think you could be a good referee to me to talk about a little about that. May I share you? May we can meet for a coffee, maybe. Uh, or something about that. But I am exploring career options, for example, and I understand that you have this role in the company and will be very insightful for me to know a little more about that, right? So this is very different that go to the man and say, okay, maybe you already know about some job openings in your company. Okay, the reaction of the people is totally different, right? So it's about information, gathering information. more than sell yourself in this first interaction. Of course, you have to be very polite and you have to be very elegant and you have to be prepared with your professional speech. But the first contact have to be very polite, very soft, very kind, right? So I think that is my opinion in that salesman uh, topic. So you're welcome. So um, I'm going to give you my email, my personal email. Maybe if you want have more information, if you have some specific question for me. Of course, I have a lot of information about this. If you want to share information, sure, I can add my LinkedIn. If you want gather information about the international organization where I work in one of them, so I can share with you, of course. And thank you very much for attending this webinar.